We're living in a different time. Isn't that what the old folks say? Well, I beg to differ, because there really is nothing new under the sun. We used to think that this generation was stronger than that of my parents. But after learning where and whom we come from, I realized that this was a false narrative. They fought, bled, and died for the liberties that we take advantage of today. So I changed my mind. We are our grandparents. We are our parents. This is where the idea for uppity Negro apparel and accessories comes from. We are the uppity Negroes that defied boundaries, broke chains, climbed mountains, and crossed valleys of hatred, bigotry, illiteracy, and oppression. The statement is simple. The cause is never ending. The sound, loud. Say it with me, Kendrick. I am that uppity Negro.
Good evening, everybody. It is 8 o'clock and it's time for the takeover. So, tonight we're going to try to do this just a little bit um, by myself. So, I'm a little nervous. My hair's all frizzy. Today was a day. So, I had plans for this show, I had great ideas, I had notes, and this morning sucked so bad. So, let me tell you how I got escorted out of the hospital by public safety. So, so I went in for a very, 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 very minor procedure, and it was supposed to be I was supposed to be done in about an hour, and then I would wait on my mentor to come pick me up. We do it all the time. So I don't know who this little guy was, who was the doctor. He looked like he was 12. But I cussed him out like he was 50. Promise you, I went in. Furniture moved, y'all, because you're not gonna talk to me all kind of way. So I get in there, and he's trying to convince me that I should do a local. Like he just gonna put some little numbing stuff on there, and then they were gonna just he said we'll just put some numbing on there, and we're just gonna yank it out, bruh. Seriously, that's your description. First of all, I don't want to be awake when you cut me open. I don't want to be awake when you do any of this stuff. So that was the first thing. And then the nurse, poor thing, she couldn't. I have very, very, very small veins. And just when you think you got it, they're just gonna roll away. They're just as ornery and disobedient as the person whose body they're in. And she couldn't find it, so she just kept moving the needle. I finally told her, just take it out. I'm done. I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to go. So I was upset then, but I think what really made me upset was her trying to convince me to calm down. And one thing that I hate is people telling me to calm down when I'm not even mad yet. So that made me more angry. And so this is not my show. So long story short, security was called and I was escorted out after I tossed the bed thing across the room. I was angry and I'm not going to apologize. So this is the point of this whole story is this. Listen, doctors are there to help you. They're not there to diagnose you. Um, Not in the sense of they're going to tell you what's wrong with you. You go to the doctor, you tell them what's wrong with you, everything that's wrong with you. They go look on the computer or look in a book or consult somebody else, and then they tell you, okay, this is what this is. This is how we can fix it. That's all they're supposed to do. They're not supposed to try to bully you or push you into doing something that you don't want to do or tell you because I used to get a lot of this. Well, that sounds very unusual. It doesn't sound like what you said. I don't give a crap about anything what you're talking about right now. I'm telling you what's wrong with me. This is my truth. This is what's wrong with me. You go do what you got to do and fix it because that's your job. And if you can't fix it, you get an expert to come and fix it. That's the thing. So I'm crying already. My boyfriend on the phone, he yelling and cussing at the. I had to hang the phone up with him because they couldn't hear me. So what you're not gonna do, you're not gonna outcuss me when I'm mad. So I hung up on him so they could get the full blast of what I was trying to do and stop being distracted by him because he's not better at this. I'm better at this than he is. And so that's what happened to me today. And it just been an awful rough day. I went to my apostle house, I took some fruit and all that stuff, and we just vegged out and fruit out, and it made me feel so much better. Because that procedure for me was this big milestone inside my head. It was this big milestone of they took the port out, which means no more chemo in that manner. And it just was this big deal to me. And this doctor ruined it. I don't know who he was, but he was very insistent on what he wanted to do. He was he was very nonchalant about what I was saying. He just wasn't listening to me. And I don't like to be ignored. Period. I just don't like being ignored. So that's where we are with my day. Then, which means I couldn't print off my notes. I didn't get a chance to study them, but I do know, like basically what I want to talk about. So that was my day. Um, and then we're going to talk a little bit about. We had a meeting, so we have to talk a little bit about my brand and the things that I have going on. But let's do that later. Let's do that later because I don't want you to go take a bathroom break or something in the middle because you think it's a commercial and I want to talk about this. All right. So my hair is so frizzy, but I'm so proud of it. Sorry, I got distracted. So this weekend I sat and I really spent a lot of time with me. And I spent a lot of time talking to God and talking about the world that we live in. I called a couple of people, but that wasn't the conversation that I wanted to have. I really wanted to hear what God thought about a lot of this stuff. And to be truthful with you, I still don't know because I didn't really get any answers because I think God, sometimes we ask questions and we already know the answer. And he just look at you and go, well, you already know. So that's that. So I was sitting and while I was sitting there talking to God and praying and talking to myself, um, mainly, I kept seeing this commercial flash across TV, and it was like it's on a loop. It was like, I think Spider-Man had came on, and Laura, what is it, the Tomb Raider, whatever. But the same commercial kept coming on, and it was the commercial of the dogs in the snow, like shivering and cold, and about elephants in Africa and all of this stuff. And you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of those commercials that they used to show to make us think that Africa was this poor country that was just starving with the black children all ashy and flies all around them and all this stuff to make us think that Africa was not a place of great wealth and of great technology and of great people. But this commercial just kept coming on, kept coming on, kept coming on, and I was like, and then I started thinking about, some of the little things they have on YouTube, not YouTube, on Facebook or TikTok or whatever, where they're saving animals and and talking about their dogs and all this stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. I had dogs. I love pit bulls. I've had two sets of pit bulls. I love pit bulls, and they were my children. I treated them like children. I talked to them like children, and I get it. I promise you, I get it. But my dogs never made me forget, or walk over, or look over um, a person that was hungry, or thinking about whether the kids that are running outside, did they eat today, or why they still outside and it's 10, 11 o'clock at night. My dogs never made me forget about that. You know what I'm saying? And it just seems like this world has I can't even say this world. I'm going to say this, and I know that it might rub some people the wrong way, but to me, it's what I see, and it just seems to me that um, the people in power in this country, um, and white people, I know, but it's white people. They would rather talk about saving whales, dogs, animals, penguins, and a goddamn ant farm before they talk about the fact that most children only eat breakfast and lunch at school and they don't have any dinner when they get home. And I started thinking about um first of all, I started thinking about the Bible and what God said about orphans and widows and the poor and all of that. And I don't think, if you know of a scripture or something, just put it in the comments of him saying that we're going to today we're going to make sure that all the dogs are fed, and or today we're going to make sure that that the elephants over in Africa are going to be fed today, and because they're going extinct or whatever. What I do think that he talked about was the fact that that was his job. He worried about animals. And listen, God got that. He created them. He know they got to eat. There's grass and trees and nuts and all this stuff for animals. And well, I'm gonna say it again. I said it last week. Charity starts at home, and then it spreads abroad. I really don't think that when you get to heaven, that God is going to ask you, did you have an account to feed and make sure that the elephants were okay 2,000 miles away in Africa? I don't. Because what I think he worried about is the fact that you haven't talked to your neighbor in 5 to 15 years since you lived in that house. So you don't know whether they have food or not, especially during this pandemic, especially uh, in a time where people are not working and they can't go out, or either they choose not to go out or they really cannot go out. So my thing is, why are there so many commercials about dogs and cats and elephants, which can fend for themselves? I'm pretty sure that they can fend for themselves if we would stop poaching on their land. Leave them alone. You don't have to have a resort in the middle of the Congo because it's pretty. Leave those animals alone. God got them. But what he does, and he has us. Please don't twist up my words. He's got us. He's got us. But when I want when I pray to God and I thank him for food and clothes and all of this other stuff, and I pray that he does, he heals my body, and um he makes sure that I'm safe and all that. He got people here for that. When I tell him to watch me over the long and dangerous highways, he got mechanics to make sure my car work. You understand what I'm saying? Because this is not deep. This is not rocket science. When I tell him I want him to heal my body, and we're not talking about no miracle. We talking about I want him to heal my body, and all. He got doctors for that, and he's got people in place to come. Because I'm not expecting Jesus to come down here on a chariot to get me to take me where I need to go, or to bring me groceries if I'm hungry. I'm expecting him to touch somebody's heart, and I expect for him to move on my behalf in somebody's heart, for them to come and give to me the things that I need, or to give me the strength to go out and get the things that I need. Because I'm pretty sure that all them stray dogs out there have pushed over many a trash can to get something to eat. I, I'm not, I'm so um I'm lost that you would that you would adopt 6 dogs, 4 cats, a parakeet, and a turtle, and you will walk by a person that is on the ground holding a cup, and you won't get them 50 cents because you think, oh, they can work. If they can walk out here, they can work. Now, and let me be very honest. I've done that, but only because before I give you money or food, I talk to God first. Because what you're not going to do is play me. So there are people that are out here that are taking advantage of the signs, because I've heard they make lots of money out there. But I also know that there are people out here who really um, maybe because of mental challenges or physical challenges, because some physical challenges you just can't see. And so you have people that really need this, but you have people that are out here that just lazy. So we're not talking about that, but we're talking. And even if we were talking about that, use your ability to discern between what people are doing and what people are not doing. But this is the subject of what I want to talk about tonight. I'm not understanding why it has become the thing to save whales, to save uh, dogs and cats and all of these things, and you don't know if the 89-year-old lady that lives next door to you has anything to eat besides cat food. I'm not throwing shade. I'm telling you the realness of how hungry you can be. So let's be real. So let me do this. Let me put the spotlight on me so that you won't think that I'm trying to embarrass anybody. So let me wait a minute. Let me you got a comment. Um, Crystal says people would rather feed animals than human beings. Am I my brother? You better preach, Crystal. You ain't got no usher, but I promise you, I will make sure that there's an offering taken up at the end of the day. Because Crystal just preached. Because people would rather um, look in, and you know what I think it is? I think it's this complex of, and I really think that people with melanin in their skin are not really seen as all the way human. And I know you say it's 2022, but did you not hear Mitch McConnell the other day say that that African Americans are voting at a higher rate than other Americans? Bruh, are we not? I can't. We're not going there. We're not going there because I don't want political. But do you understand what I'm saying to you about how we're seen as people? Because we're not just treated as uh, lower class citizens in this country. America has done such a great job of treating people with um, a lot of melanin in their skin as subhuman people that it has trickled over into other countries, where other countries are start have been treating us like we don't belong where we're supposed to belong at. So exactly, Mr. F, your priorities are screwed up. And people in this country are so spoiled they're losing their minds. And it's not about mask, and it's not about all this other stuff that we're not supposed to talk about because they'll cut you off. It's not about that. It's about the fact that, do you value other humans as human? And you have to say no, because there are children that go home and don't have dinner, not because their mom and daddy can't provide. And then listen, there are people that go home and the children eat, and the parents pretend like they don't they full, and they don't eat because they love their children so much. And when did we become a nation of uh it's just me and oh, that this is just so popular on Facebook. Well, it's just me and mine. That's all I'm gonna take care of, me and mine, and I ain't worrying about nobody else. What happened to the village? Like, what happened to the village? What happened to everybody else in the village? What happened to if I see your child doing something, I get to go out there and say something to them, not lay my hands on them, or I'm talking about just being able to speak to them without you coming back to my house with an attitude, talking about that's my child and this, and you. What happened to that? And then when something happens to that child, now you knocking on my door wanting to know, have you seen Lil Ray Ray? Or did you see who shot Lil Ray Ray? Or did you and all this other stuff? Because you can't pick and choose when you want the village to come to your rescue. But we do that. We do that. And it's gone. You're right. The village is gone. And I don't understand why we have stepped so far back from the village. Because from my studying, even on the plantation, there was a type of village of people. There was not much you could do, but there was something that you could do. I watched a video the other day of a little boy in a classroom. He had autism, and a white boy was bullying him, but nobody in the class stopped him. Nobody stopped him, and he kept doing it because he knew he could get away with it. And then after they showed the video, they said that they showed the letter that the principal lied about the entire incident. So if you can't depend on the people that are in charge of your village, the people that are in charge of of making sure that everything is okay, then who the hell are you supposed to turn to? Now, yes, let's pray. Let's go to God and all of that. Let's do that. But there are times when some of the leaders in the Bible went to God and God told them, okay, well, since they don't want to listen, well, then we just go to war. And you can't tell me that God was not a God of war. Because when Moses was fighting the Canaanites before they got over into that country and could get to the milk and honey, oh, they had to go to war. Moses got tired. I can't remember. I think it was Aaron and I think it was Joshua. He had on. When he held his hand up, they was winning. When he got tired, they started losing. So please stop telling me that. Stop looking at God like God is this one faceted, all good, all great being. Yes, he is that, but he will whoop tail when he have to. When Ananias went into that tent and lied about that, about how much, about taking that stuff and how much money and tithes they had, he destroyed their entire lineage. So please stop picking and choosing these great little things out of the Bible like God didn't come in and just take stuff out, because he did. And I thank God that even though he does not change, he understands that we change and that we have become just a wicked people. And I say we because we all have our moments where we just forget that we serve a God who sees all. Let's go back to this thing about animals. I'm not going to read the scriptures to you, but I will give them to you. So James 1:27, Exodus 22:22, Deuteronomy 10:18. All of these scriptures I found talk about children, talk about widows, talk about the poor, talk about all of these things. And we seem to have, the only thing we talking about now is prosperity. And how God want us to be rich and how God want us to have money and how he want all of that. But how are you going to gain that if you have to step on people and walk around folks to get there? What happened to you ain't got to reach around and get nobody if you ain't walked in front of them. Only way you have to reach back is if you walked and left them back there. How about you just let them walk beside you through the journey? If they fall off because they wanted to, not because you didn't give them the invitation. We don't ask people. We have just lost, and I know the Bible speaks of it, but we have just lost the love. Edwin Parker, let's do that. Let's hashtag that. It's time to bring back the village. Yes, it's time to bring the village back, because it's going to take all of us to bring some kind of awareness to the fact that it ain't about being the next millionaire. It's not about who's going to the prosperity and the money, and because if you do people right and you make sure that your neighbor eats, then they make sure their neighbor eats, then the village eats, then the community eats, then the state and then everybody eats. And if everybody's eating, then guess who else eating? The goddamn dog. I'm just saying. Do you understand where I'm going with that? Because if you eat and everybody eats and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and if you do what you're supposed to do and everybody's eating, everybody's prospering, everybody is doing what they're supposed to do, you ain't got to worry about the elephants. because the elephant's gonna eat. Because we too busy making sure everybody in this area is fed. I do not understand why these commercials are coming on about country. Listen, nobody telling. I'm not saying that we shouldn't send money, and I'm not. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this: if you do not feed your neighbor, then what is the point of feeding somebody halfway across the world? What's the point? If everybody in your neighborhood is dying of hunger, except you and Mbutu over in an African village, seriously, I just want somebody to tell me that yes, the prosperity gospel is big money, and it is another kind of thing with that itchy eared gospel. It's another one of those things that makes your ears feel good. It, you have you can have all the money in the world, and it ain't gonna save your soul. That's it. I promise you, I'm not gonna end this right here by telling you to give your life to God. Because if you ain't gave your life to God during COVID, then me telling you to do it now it's not gonna happen. So we're not even gonna go there. But what I will tell you is that all the money in the world is not gonna save your soul. It's not going to do anything but make your bank rich. And when you go from this earth, it's gonna make your relatives rich. That's it. I and that commercial played on a loop. I promise you, through it went through two Spider-Man movies and a Laura Croft movie. The same commercial over and over and over again. And in my mind, I'm thinking, whoever thought of that is smart. You know why? Because people stuck at home. It was freezing here in the 20s over the weekend. And whoever thought of putting that commercial up to make you feel bad while you was eating your popcorn in front of your TV in your warm house, and you looking at them poor dogs shivering. But this is my thing. This is my thing. Take that same camera two or three houses down. Take that same camera through your neighborhood and knock on the door and be candid and ask them, do you have enough food? Do you have enough substance? Is your heat working? Or is everybody, are you doing what my mama used to do? Just open the oven and hope the whole house get warm. I don't understand the point of red bottom shoes and the 13 cats and all these animals, and you can't even tell me your neighbor first name, and the only reason you know their last name because it's on the mailbox. When I lived by myself, wherever I lived at, I guarantee you everybody knew who I was. You know why? Because I would bake cookies, cakes, and whatever, and I would choose a day, and I would just go out and pass out at least four or five houses that way, or apartments, 4 or 5 apartments the other way, and whoever was behind me. You know why? Because when I got in trouble, I knew I would know who name to call. If I had to run out my house because somebody was trying to get me, I knew who neighbor house I could go to. If you didn't answer your door, or you just told me, oh, no, 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 never mind, no, thank you, I knew not to bother you in case something happened. So I wouldn't get stuck there while Michael Myers was behind me. I'm going to the lady house who said, oh, these are too good. When you going to make these again? Yeah, this is where you come at, right? This is where you come at. If Michael Myers or Jason chasing you right here at this lady house, because she going to let you in. But you can't do that no more. Because now you walk up to somebody's door and they don't know who you are, they're going to shoot you. It happened to that girl in Georgia. She just wanted some direction. She was just lost. He killed her. I watched another man on another video shoot at this guy, the boy, because the boy was just walking up to the door to ask him if he wanted to give to the little society he was in. Exactly, because we have strayed away from the commands that Jesus gave us, and it's more than 10. It's more than 10. But this is the thing: you don't even got to know all of them. You know the one you got to know, the one that you really need to know. And that he says the greatest of this is love. Just love people just like you would love yourself. I couldn't sleep at night if I knew for a certainty that somebody's child didn't eat, or they weren't eating. Because I'll give you everything out of my house because I know that God will provide for me to have it again. And you know what I wasn't gonna do? I'm not gonna make a TikTok video about it, and I'm not gonna do and I'm not gonna do a Facebook post on it because I don't need nobody to know what I did. It just like this morning, I could go through the whole thing of what happened to me this morning with the homeless lady. But why? Who does that edify? It edifies me, but it takes away from the idea that God motivated me to do that. Because when you're telling the story, you don't keep saying God told me and God. That's not what you said. You say I did, I did, I did. It, who are we as a people? I just don't know it. I'm scared of who we are becoming, and I'm scared that the message of right, true love and charity, I'm scared that the message is getting lost. And it's getting lost because we so busy trying to either make the money for real, or we so busy trying to pretend like we got the money. And I'll say this again, like I said last week. You can keep on playing around and pretending like you got it all this stuff, but somebody knows you in real life. Somebody know who you are in real life. So you on here doing all this other stuff, and you work on fries at Burger King, but you talking about the condo you live in and the car and the Bentley you drive. Somebody know you in real life, and somebody gonna bust your bubble sooner or later. But I just don't know who we are, who we becoming as people. So let's do something that I wanted to do. Let's do statistics. Statistics. Statistically, and this was in 2019, 1 in 7 children, that's about 10.7 million children, have food insecurities. That means that they live in a house where there's never really enough to eat. They struggle to afford healthy meals. And we talking about healthy meals now. We're not talking about the dollar menu at McDonald's that you get or whatever. We're talking about good, healthy meals. And I'm gonna let me. I'll come back to what I wanted to tell you about how far I had to go to find some good fruit and stuff today. Because I'm supposed to be becoming a vegan only on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But anyway, um, and it forces them to rely on low cost food to feed their children, or they skip meals, or they just go hungry. And God forbid in the summertime, how do these children eat? So it says Black and Hispanic children are twice as likely to live in food insecure households as white children. Nearly 1 in 4 Black children, that's 24.1%, and 1 in 5 Hispanic children lived in households that didn't get enough food to eat in 2019, compared to the 1 in 9 white children in 2019. Now, we talking about children, but let's talk about the demographics of people that we don't really think about. That's senior citizens, the people that are 60 and over that face hunger. 1 in 14 seniors live with food insecurities. 63% of seniors visiting food banks say they have to choose between food and medicine. Hunger takes a severe toll on a senior's health and nutrition, putting them at risk for chronic health conditions like depression, asthma, and diabetes. The other day, when the weather was going down in the 20s, I was driving down the street, um, and I saw a lady. She had to be in her 60s, going on 70s. She was bundled up with groceries. She was at the bus stop, and it was 36 degrees outside. And I pulled over, and I asked her to get in. She said no because I'm scared of COVID or whatever. I had to leave her at the bus stop. I had to leave her at the bus stop. I cried all the way down the road because it just broke my heart that I couldn't give her a ride because of COVID. But it also broke my heart because I'm thinking to myself, If you have children, where are they? Why are you sitting at this bus stop? And it just blew my mind that she had to make do for herself in that kind of weather. And then I kept thinking to myself, is she going home to a warm house? Does her heater work? um who gonna help her put the I went through this whole spiraling thing, and I felt myself going into this depression. And then I had to pull myself, and I was like, you there's some things you can't fix, and you can't change it, and you just have to ask God to give her the strength, and the ingenuity, and the heat, and just ask God to fix it, because there's nothing else you can do. There's just nothing else you can do. It was just sad to me. That and hoping that I'm thinking, God, I hope she ain't got no children, because if she do, woe unto them. Because how you gonna explain that to Jesus? You was busy. You was at work. What could you possibly be doing? And your mom at the bus stop in 36-degree weather. That what was you doing? So I this is what I've been thinking about all day. Um, that's it. Nobody wants to help anybody. Nobody wants to go out of their way. No, people say, well, I don't want you to go out your way. First of all, my car go whatever way I want it to go. This is what a steering wheel is for. Just in case, let me educate you, because people think this is rocket science. Let me break it down to you. When you get in your car and you have put your hand on that round thing, that's a steering wheel. Okay? It turns the wheels of the car. The wheels of that car will go wherever direction you turn it in. It's not like a boat where you turn it one way and it goes. No, 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 no. If you go to the right, it goes to the right. If you go to the left, your car go wherever you want it to go. So there should never be somebody saying, "Well, I'm not going that way." It goes the way you tell it to. That's it. That's not rocket science. It says we don't want to lift up a hand to each other. Too busy trying to keep exactly. We so big, and I think that's one of the reasons, trying to keep each other down. I think that's one of the reasons why black families don't all coexist in one big house. That was one of my mom's dreams for us. But it was a dream, because we can't even be in the same room with each other for more than 10 minutes. It's sad, and I'm not saying that with any pride. It's just the truth. I think that's why Mexican people can do it, and Chinese people can do it. They can all live. African people can do it. All live in one big communal and share everything. But African American folks in America have been bamboozled. You have been hoodwinked to think that as long as you have your own thing, you making it in America. And I don't know. I don't know. But I think this pandemic is showing a lot of people that it ain't that bad. It wasn't really that bad living with your mama, because there's a lot of people had to go back. So a lot of people had to give up those houses and all that, because they didn't have the jobs, they didn't have the money, they didn't have to do anything. Miss Crystal, I, I I agree, but then I disagree, because people always say that it's crab mentality to pull people and pull crab. I disagree. First of all, crabs don't belong in a bucket. They belong in the water. They don't pull at each other in the water where they belong. The only reason they're pulling at each other is because they're in a bucket. They don't belong in the bucket. So if you take them out the bucket, they'll start pulling on each other. You feel me? So if you take people out of these boxes that you put them in, they won't pull on each other. Put them in an environment where they can spread out and move around. Ain't nobody gonna pull on nobody. But everybody is in this little thing with a glass ceiling, and that's where the crab mentality idea comes from. I agree with it, but then I don't. Crabs do not belong in a bucket. Crabs belong in water, in the ocean, free. And the only reason they pull at each other like that is because you got them in something that they don't supposed to be in. That's they don't supposed to be in a bucket. And they not dumb. I know they hear that water boiling. Um, Listen, I know them crabs smell that obey, and they just want to go back home. That's all I'm saying. But people talk about crab mentality. Crabs don't belong in a bucket, so of course they're gonna pull each other down. Black folks don't belong in a box that say because you black or your name is Taranisha that you can't do this job. So as long as you keep putting them in those boxes and in those buckets, of course they're gonna keep pulling each other down. But you put them in a place where there is equal. We talking about real equal opportunity. We're not talking about these little crumbs they've been throwing us with Martin Luther King birthday and this. We talking about real equal opportunities. Put them in a place where they can advance without having to bend over backwards and work 10 times harder than everybody else. Put them in a place where they are valued for who they are and what they know. That's what I'm talking about. But when you keep them at the fry station, it's 4 people on fries, 2 people on burgers. You gonna tell me that they're not gonna be pulling on each other because you got them in a box where they do not belong. Give them a place where they can advance to manager, advance to team lead, then they won't pull on each other no more. And the only pulling that'll take place is they bringing folks in. Listen, my cousin Ray Ray need a job too. He can't do it right now, but if you let me train him, that's the only pulling you'll see if we were in that. But see, when I talk like that, that's the Cartoon Network because it's not happening. We live on Lifetime channel, right? And on Lifetime, it's 4 people on fries, 5 people on burgers, and they pulling on each other because now he gonna tell every time you forget to put lettuce on somebody's hamburger. You feel me? That's what I'm talking about. Coco, why you had to come in when I was talking about the crab? You know they smell that obey. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know I get distracted very easily. So, and yes, Fred, we are so used to being in those boxes and have the glass ceiling that we don't see the walls, we don't see the ceiling, we don't see it anymore. We just we walking around in it and we don't even see it no more because we so used to it. But you gotta you we I don't and I wish I think I'm gonna do a show on that because I really am going to try to find some people who have trained themselves to see the box, to see the ceiling, and that they've trained themselves to look at it and just walk around it. Because sometimes when we get into these boxes, we just open the door and go in and close it behind us. It's not intentional. It's just that we have convinced ourselves that once I reach this goal, then I'm not gonna be able to go no higher than that. I asked my boyfriend one time, I asked him, I said, so when you get out from where you are, he's incarcerated. So when you get out, what do you want to do? He said, well, I just want to be able to make at least $12 an hour and I'm work for somebody who's gonna give me all the hours I need and this. And I listened to him and I was said, wait a minute, wait a minute. That's your goal? Your goal is to work for somebody else. Your goal is to make what isn't even minimum wage anymore, but that's your goal. I said, but you got to see way beyond that. You got to see if I work for him, I'm gonna work for him for a year just to learn everything he knows. Then I'm gonna move on and you and he got really confused about it because he thought I was throwing shade at him or whatever. But you know why he got upset? He got upset because no one had ever told him that those are not goals. Working for somebody else is not a goal. Working for somebody else is doing this until I can do better. And I think that a lot of people have set goals for themselves. They've reached that goal and then they stop because that's enough. I worked hard. I plateaued. That's it. But if you're on a plateau out in the middle of nowhere, when you look up, how far away is the sky still? You see what I'm saying? But some of us cannot see beyond our own condition and circumstances. We can't. It's very hard for some people. I was just telling my apostle tonight that every time I think that I'm over my low self-esteem, and I got to stop saying my, over this, over low self-esteem, I hear myself um, saying things like, um, this is the thing. If you have a business or you have something that you're doing, I will push and promote you till I'm exhausted. But when it comes to me pushing and promoting my stuff, I feel like I'm not supposed to have that. I'm gonna have a little bit. I'm gonna get a little trickle of that because God's gonna bless me with my little trickle, and then that's gonna be enough because that's good. That's good. You're not gonna have a two-story house and two nice cars and a thing. You're gonna have a nice apartment. You're gonna have furniture in it, and it's gonna be enough. You just gonna God gonna give God and see how I put God in the box too. And sometimes I catch myself thinking like that. That's all you need. You don't ask for too much. Don't ask for that. Don't ask for that because you already got enough. He saved your life. You don't have cancer no more. Your hair growing back. Don't ask for nothing else. Don't ask for nothing else. But that is not how God works. And I sometimes I say stuff and I wish I hadn't said it because I wish I hadn't said the last 15 things I said, but I already said it. But that is my truth. And I do not think that I'm going to die. I don't think I'm going anywhere. I do think that God is going to bless me, but I have a tendency of only giving God this much of what I want him to do because that's what I think I deserve. And um because I have a hard time of letting go of things that I've done in my past. And I mean I haven't murdered anybody or did anything like that, but I've done things to survive that I regret. And I've said things to people um, that I regret that I know have made them question who they are because I'm a word person. And one of the things that I don't do when I get very angry, when I get angry, I try to stay quiet because I can say things to a person, and I have no pride in this, but I can say things to a person because I know which words to use that'll make you that will have you toe up because words to me hurt worse than getting hit because bruises go away. But when somebody say something to you once you say it, you can't take it back. You can't retell God, rewind that. I didn't mean to say that because it's still there. You can apologize all you want to. You still said it. So let's just get back to what we were talking about. So we know that if you have any melanin in your skin, you are considered not quite human. So because I didn't want this show to be where I have to keep on apologizing because people have an issue with talking about race like it's something that we just made up. I'm going to try to stray away from the um, the disparities between white hunger and black hunger and all this other. But it is unbelievable that people will feed a dog better than they feed their children. I see some of the commercials with dog food, and the dog food look better than some of the food that my godchildren eat at school for lunch. So this is my point. God got the animals. He got that. He put them down here, just like he put us down here. He gonna take care of them. He gonna take care of the animals, the flowers, the trees, all of that. He got them covered. When you face whomever you serve, do you really think that they're going to ask you if you fed your neighbor, or did you feed the stray dog or the stray cat? When you go see your maker, whoever you decide your maker is, whether it be God, Buddha, Confucius, or the sun, or the guy on the corner selling bean pies. Whoever you think it is, and if they are truly about people, do you really think he gonna ask you about the animals in your neighborhood, or do you think he gonna ask you, well, why you passed by Miss Sarah's house the other day and you saw her standing on her porch and you didn't say hi to her and you didn't ask her genuinely how you doing and really listen to her answer you? I wish I could. They have all these challenges and stuff out there. I wish I could challenge people to ring their neighbor doorbell, run back 12 feet, and when their neighbor answers the door, just ask them seriously, how you doing? That's all you got to ask them. All I want to know is how you doing. That should be a challenge because some of these people have been in their homes for months with no real interaction. Not because they couldn't go out or what, but because they don't have no family or they don't have no friends or nobody. Everybody think, oh, they all right because she always been tough. And that's how people think about me. She good. She don't need nothing because you have that. They have that face down pack of I got this. It's just so it says we are so much more beyond our conditions, so much more beyond our circumstances. But how can we see beyond when we are emotionally, physically, and spiritually stuck? That is a good question. And I'll tell you what my apostle told me today. The only way that you are going to be able to see beyond and go beyond is to to reprogram your mind, to flip what you think and how you think about you and certain things. That's right. Check on your strong family. And it says low expectations of myself. Then I limit God's power. You better preach. These people is preaching in these comments. But that's what you have to do. She told me that tonight. She said that I would have to, just like with my computer, which is doing this lag thing that's irritating me, I have to reprogram my mind to 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 um to think along the lines of more positivity. Because I can say, I look in the mirror and I say, I'm gonna live, and I'm not gonna die. I'm gonna live. God is gonna let me live, and I'm gonna live not 2 years, not 55 years, but another 100, another, because they lived that long in the Bible. And I gotta say it, not just saying it, because it's easy to say it, but I gotta say it, and I gotta say it until I believe it. I gotta keep on saying it until I believe it. I gotta program my mind, program myself to wake up in the morning and say, "Oh my God, my hair grew back," and I thank God for that because I didn't have none 2 months ago. I got to program myself to go out to my car and crank it up. And I have to say, this is just for right now. This is just, God done let me borrow this car. He gonna keep it, whatever, whatever, and then he gonna give me something better. That's how you get from being physically and emotionally unstuck. When I was laying in bed and the doctor told me, don't move, don't do whatever, I listened to him and I regret that now. But now that I can feel my strength coming back and I can walk around, I can wash my clothes, I can make up my bed without collapsing, I realized him telling me to lay in bed like that was detrimental to me. Because what I needed to do was, even if I couldn't walk but to the bathroom or to the door and back, I should have did it until I couldn't do it no more. And that's what I do now. I walk around and I do what I can do, and I go where I can go. Even if I have to just go walk around in Goodwill, or if I get in my car and I drive up the street, ride around in a big old circle, come around in this Charleston ain't but a big circle, and ride and come on back home. I went somewhere. I did something. And sometimes I just go in the store, not to buy nothing, but just to make somebody smile or laugh or to buy somebody groceries. You know, that's how you get unstuck. You reprogram your mind. You flip it to be more positive. That's what my apostle and her daughter told me today. And when they was telling me that, I was like, well, how do you do that? And 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 I was driving. I drove all the way home, and I was thinking, okay, how you gonna do this, man? You got to do this. How you gonna do this? That's the best advice you gonna get. What you gonna do? How you gonna change your mind? How you gonna do it? And then I thought to myself, you got people in your corner that push you to do whatever. Those same people that you don't want to call and you don't want to bother, call them and tell them. You say it to them. You know you're gonna live and you ain't gonna die today. And then maybe they'll flip it around and tell you, girl, you too. You ain't gonna live and you ain't gonna die today. And then it'll come a time in your life when you won't need no friend to do it because you'll already have that programmed in your mind. We have to program ourselves to take care of our neighbors, to take care of the people in our lives. And when I say in our lives, I'm not talking about the immediate people in the house. I'm talking about people in your life everywhere. Because if we don't, We're gonna be a people that are a lost village. That's what we just gonna be, a lost village. And it just saddens me. I don't know. I don't know where else to go. I went in the Word, and God told us to do it. And I talked to some people, and I know people who will give give you the shirt off their back. But it's billions of people in this world. And I know that they say if you throw a rock in, those waves go out and out and out. And maybe it just ain't moving fast enough for me. You feel me? Like it just ain't going fast enough. Every time you receive great advice, it's the hardest thing for us to do. It is, because great advice means putting in the work. You got to put in the work, and you got to figure out how to make that advice um, work for you. You got to figure out how to incorporate that advice into your everyday thinking until it overtakes all of that other negative thinking. So, in that vein, um, I want to do this. I didn't want to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. So, because we had a meeting on Sunday, and me and Mr. F got fussed at because we don't promote our things enough. So I'll have a book coming out in May. I have no name for this book, but it'll be completed by May. And so if you want, just put it in your calendar to pre-order it. I don't even know how much it's going to cost yet because I haven't finished certain chapters I started, and the um, the memories of some of the things that I want to talk about are very emotional for me, and I had to step back for a minute. Um, but yeah, so that's going to be that. So I don't know if you know, but that little I had a logo on the back, on the that's going to be up there, and my brand is called Uppity Negro. Um, this shirt is one of my shirts. Can you see? Yeah, you can see it a little bit. That little space down there that you can't hardly see, that word is Negro. So it's Uppity Negro. And this is my brand. I have masks and t-shirts, sweatshirts. We're working right now. I'm trying to find somebody to do entire jogging suits. Um, and that's what I'm doing. So that's my brand. I have, don't laugh, Fred, but I have Uppity Negro lashes. I'm wearing some now. I had on some last week. Um, and they're Uppity Negro lashes. And you can go on my website, which will be up soon. Um, and these are my Uppity Negro lashes. I hope you can see them. Yeah. So, and when you go on my website, you can look at the different lengths of them, and you can pick which one you want. And they have names like I have a pair called Maxine Waters. I have a pair called Emancipation. I have a pair called Harriet Tubman's. I have a pair called uh, I think I got some Stacey Abrams on there. I have they're named after very strong women. I have one called the Apostle, which is from my apostle. Those are the apostles are like the shortest ones, but they're like almost like the ones I had on last week. Um, yeah. Oh, and I also have a pen. This is a glue pen that you can have that you can use if I can get it out of this box. That you can use for the lashes. Instead of using hair glue, if y'all don't stop putting hair glue on your lashes, y'all gonna be done. I can't even tell you how many times I have glued my eyes closed, or glued my eyelid to my contacts using hair glue. Stop it, and I mean stop it right now, because now they have I tried the magnetic ones and they worked all right, but they're just not as great as I thought. Because once the magnets get like a little bit of that glue stuff on it, they stop sticking. This is the pen. So see the pen? It's very pretty. I'm girly, and I like glitz and glamour. So this is the pen, and and you put it on your eye like just like you would put on eyeliner. So this is the pen, just like that. and you put it on like you would put on. One day I'll do a demonstration, but you put it on your eye like you would do eyeliner, and then you take your lash and put it on there. 2 seconds, just like that. 2 seconds, it's on. And there's no glue. You're not gonna glue your eye closed. You're not gonna have glue all over your lashes. And the reason I love my lashes and that pen is because you can use it up to 20 to 25 times. And the lashes I had on last week, I don't know if you probably wasn't paying attention, but the lashes I had on last week were over a month old. I rinsed them off after 2 weeks, and then I let it dry, and then I just keep on wearing them. And the only reason I changed them is because I wanted to see how these looked. And I like the ones from last week better because they're fuller. So so that's my merchandise. So like I said, I have masks and I have these shirts. These shirts can be custom made because not only do they say uppity Negro, my pastor wants one, and I'm getting ready to make her one. She wants uppity apostle on hers. I have uppity fat girl. I have you can be uppity anything you want to, but you weren't here when I told the story of me being escorted out of the hospital by security because I uppity Negroed somebody this morning. I tore that hospital room up because what you're not gonna do is talk to me like I'm a 3-year old and you ain't not your 20s. So yeah, I was escorted out of the hospital by security and driven to my car. And so yeah, it was yeah. I'm not gonna apologize. My mentor was like, "You don't act up in the hospital. I act up wherever somebody disrespects me." And he obviously didn't read my sweatshirt because my sweatshirt said uppity Negro on it. What was he looking at? So he got So I was supposed to get a procedure this morning. I didn't get it because I put my clothes back on in the middle of the hallway, naked, putting my clothes on, cussing everybody out. So some people saw stuff that they didn't want to. They probably will scar them for life. I did not care because I was mad by then. Don't tell me to calm down when I'm not mad yet, and don't patronize me, and don't try to force me to do something I don't want to do because you are a doctor and you think that because you went to school for all the time you went to school, you know me. You know medicine, sir. You do not know me. And that's another thing I try to get people to understand. Your doctor works for you. You don't work for him. You tell him what's wrong. Tell him to go look in a big old book or on computer. Fix it. When you got it fixed, you come back. And if you don't know how to fix it, get an expert. So that's what happened to me this morning, which is why I still have my port in. Ha! That's what I get. Cut that mess out. You're not fat. You're beautiful, sir. I am both. And if and I would agree with you, Parker. I would agree with you. I would. But see, you can't really see like from the side. Fred hates when I do this. I don't care. So if you had seen me from the side, I look like you ever had you know your mom ever sit you ever go to your grandma's house and your Uncle Peaches is in the back room? You know who Uncle Peaches is. Uncle Peaches, Uncle Peaches is he looked like a woman up here. Then he got the flat chest and the stomach. That's how I look right now. Cause I ain't got no boobs. And I look like Uncle Peaches. And until my hair grow back, that's how I'm gonna look like. And I appreciate you telling me I'm beautiful because I feel beautiful. I really do. I really do. And especially when I get all dressed up and I oh my God, when I be feeling and then my little edges be laying down, I feel beautiful. I really do. But when I'm looking and feeling the way I felt this morning, I quit. I felt like I felt this morning. That man made me feel like Uncle Peaches. Sure enough, I acted up in that hospital. I don't regret it, and I don't regret nothing I said. I don't regret throwing that bed across the room. I don't regret pulling the IV out and tossing it toward the nurse. I didn't hit nobody, but I sure did. I will not be disrespected. With the year that I had that I told y'all about last week, you will not disrespect me. I done been through enough where I you're not gonna disrespect me. And you're not gonna talk to me all kind of way. I've come to the point now that I deserve all the respect that is going to be given to me, and you're gonna give it, or I'm gonna make you regret not giving it. So that was that. So let's try let's try this challenge. Let's try this challenge. We can't go up to people's houses and we can't do those things anymore. So let's do this. Let's start a mail chain. Okay, you ain't got to spend no money. You ain't got to do nothing like that. I want you to take 5 pieces of paper and I want you to write on the paper, all I want to know is how you doing. And then put, if you're in an apartment, put this is from H5. This is from whatever. And then and at the bottom you tell them return this when you return this when you're done to my mailbox or whatever. I'm going to do it and you're going to do it. And then next week we're going to see if anybody returns it to us, just telling us how they're doing. And on in there I want you to tell them, listen, I really want to know how you're doing. I really want to know if you're okay. I really want to to um to engage in a back and forth conversation with you. And if you don't want to tell me your business, don't tell me your business. But tell me what's going on with you. Tell me what's going on in your day. How are you? You got enough gas to put in your car? You got peanut butter and no jelly? I got you. You got spaghetti and no sauce? I got you. You got bread and no milk? I got you. Tell me what you need. Because I'm genuinely, and if we do that by next week, let's see how far this can go. And you never know. You might really, 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 really find somebody, a friend. You might find somebody who maybe was thinking suicidal thoughts. And that one little note changed their mind. You have no idea what saying hi to some people will do. You can't smile at them no more because they can't see it through the mask. But you have no idea sometimes with just saying, "Girl, how you doing?" Me, I have a thing when I see black women, I always I bow and I tell them straight up, "How you doing, queen?" Some of them look at me like, and I look at them like, "Why are you looking like that? You forgot you was a queen? You just been reminded, sweetie." And when I see gentlemen, men, I don't care how far they pants could be sagged down to their ankle. I don't care. I always greet them. I bow a little bit and I say, "How are you, king?" They look at you funny, but I bet you 4 out of 5 of those boys, when I do that, when I turn around and look, they pulling their pants up. Not because I said anything about the pants, because I called them who they were. And even if I had to do it in faith, I still called them who they were. And this is how you start building a village. Because we broke, y'all. Not monetarily, we are spiritually and emotionally and we broke. And I wish I knew this big blanket to put on everybody to make us not be broke no more. Because cry about it all the time. And I'm frustrated with with the way that we treat each other as people. I mean, you really can't walk by and say hi. You really can't wave. You really can't look behind you and see that you got a basket full of groceries and she ain't got but 2 things and you really gonna make her wait on you, bro? You really not gonna say, "Oh, let me get them 2 little things she got back there." That's really gonna break your bank? You know how many times I've done that? And then what shocks me is 2 or 3 days later or a week later, I'll be in the grocery store with 4 or 5 things in my hand, and somebody will walk up behind me and say, "Oh, let me get all that. I got that, or whatever." And it still shocks me. And I'm like, "What? No, 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 no." But you can't stop people from their blessing because nobody stopped you from yours when you wanted to help somebody. I help people even in my so-called condition. I help people put groceries in their car. Don't get me wrong now. I keep my eyes on my surroundings. I make sure ain't no white vans running around with padlocks on the back. And I make sure people ain't walking up on me and all. I get that. But before I walk up on anybody, I'll let them know, listen, I'm walking towards you and I'm serious. That's exactly what I say. I'm coming over there to help you with them groceries. Don't say nothing because I'm coming to help you with them groceries. Put your mask on because I'm coming. That's how I talk to people. And I help people because when it's time for me to be able to reap that and for it to come back around, I don't have to look too hard for it. Because what goes around always comes back around. Always. And I'm just a firm believer in that. What you put out is what you get back in. And so I did thank you. I really try to be encouraging. I really try to just speak my truth and try try to just bring people into my thought process because I want to know, genuinely want to know if I'm thinking the wrong way. Am I wrong about, is it too much to ask? Is it too much to ask for you to just if them children out after dog or whatever, it ain't is it too much to ask? Did y'all eat already? You know what I'm saying? Did y'all have something to eat? Well, I got snack, and I don't have children. But and not because I was a fat girl either. Don't get on me, Parker, but I'm just trying to make a point. I always had snacks in my house. Kids knew in my neighborhood when I was living on the projects. I lived there on the project for 8 years. They knew if they was walking by or whatever, I had snacks. I sold a lot of stuff. I was the candy lady, but I also gave away a lot of stuff because you don't have no idea that if them kids went home, if they mama was on drugs or drank or did they have something to eat or whatever. I washed their clothes sometimes. I gave them shoes. Yeah, they might have been from Goodwill, but they was new to them. I gave them. Sometimes I would leave bags of clothes at the door, and there was no need to make a TikTok video or go on Facebook to talk about that. It's what you do. You have to take care of people. How you, especially children. You know these are gonna be the people taking care of you, right? And if you don't show them what giving really is, they're gonna be just like these children who cannot write in cursive because they stopped teaching it in school. Now how the hell you gonna sign your check? I can't. Please let's just I'm back for it because that I was about to go somewhere, honey. You 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 have. I told somebody this the other day. You teach people how to treat you. How people treat you is what they were taught by you. So, oh, they disrespect. You taught them that because you let them do it one too many times, and now they're used to it. Whatever can be taught can be untaught. Don't get this mixed up with knowledge and what you know. I ain't talking about that. Whatever trick, like say you teach your dog how to pee in a certain spot. Now retrain your dog and teach him how to pee in another spot. What can be taught can be untaught. So how you treated me last year, because I taught you that. I'm gonna unteach you this year. You feel me? So if you don't teach these children how to give and be empathetic and sympathetic toward people, we truly going to be a nation of senior citizens with no help because all these children want to do is TikTok and challenge and, and eat microwave food. I tell my godson them all the time, the devil you can't cook. You better learn how to cook. Because some of this stuff I seen on Facebook, these girls talking about he ain't going nowhere. Yes, he is. He's going to Burger King because he does not want what's floating around in that brown water that you call. I can't. I'm sorry, y'all. Oh my God, these children. I don't know what. What is that floating around? In that, is that a potato or an egg? What is y'all do? Oh, rice-a-roni is not cooking. I'm about to bust your bubble. Rice-a-roni is not cooking. The macaroni in the blue box, that ain't cooking. Jiffy Mix is not making cornbread, bruh. I can't. I'm done. I can't because I can do another hour. Woo, putting food in your air fryer that you got out the freezer section is not cooking, sis. You want wontons, you go buy the wontons, you cut the cabbage up, you do the vegetables, and you roll it up. That's cooking. That's love. You, oh goodness, I'm trying to just show them. That's what they say, Coco. They'll put them pictures up on there and they'll say, oh, he ain't going nowhere. He's going to Burger King or McDonald's or Popeyes because whatever you got on that plate is still moving. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Why is your spaghetti not curling around this fork? Why is it still straight on this? Did you cook it, sis, in some water? I don't know who these people are, man. Man, I think next week I might do my show in the kitchen, just cooking a meal from scratch. Because these girls really think that rice-a-roni, Jiffy mixed corn out the frozen section, it and it's cooking. But I guarantee you, you ever eat fresh corn, put in the oven, wrapped in aluminum foil with a little piece of butter for 20 minutes, and you take it out, it's still crunchy. You eat it like that, you'll never buy frozen corn again, ever in your life. And I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. I don't know who told these people they could cook. I blame us. I blame these us because you 24, your mom in her 30s, your great grandmama in her 40s, and the fourth generation is she just in her 50s. Who teaching who what to do? When ain't none of y'all. I can't. I can't. I gotta stop. Me and Coco, I think me and Coco might talk because I really think next week I think I'm gonna do a cooking show, and I think that I'm gonna put something together and we're gonna cook from scratch, and I'm gonna figure out how to get my camera to do in my life because I don't understand because you can't feed your neighbor. That's whatever you have floating around in that brown water that you said is gravy. Gravy should go slowly off of a spoon. Gravy should not flow like Niagara Falls. I can't, Coco, I can't stop myself. I can't. Why is your gravy not coating your chicken? Why is your chicken floating on top? You know why your chicken floating on top of your gravy? Because it wish it still had its feet and the bird it was attached to so it could run back to the phone. I can't. Oh, Jesus, I can't. I can't because I don't, I don't know. And then you have the nerve to take pictures of it and put it on Facebook and tell people that you have a man who ain't going nowhere. But this is what I tell you. I think most of them women do not have men, and they one of them people who people know in real life, and they trying to figure out, well, who she talking about because she ain't had no boyfriend last time I talked to her. Because I ain't nowhere, no man in the world, no man love you that much to put his gravy in a cup and have to drink it like it was a milkshake because it ain't thick. I can't. Who is he? And either your stuff is fire, and I mean it is gold, and your Kegel exercises are on point, or he just ain't never had nobody cook good food for him. I'm just saying. I'm because there's one true thing, and I'm pretty sure it's one of the things in the Bible. I just got to find it. The way to a man's heart is really through his stomach. You cannot cook. You better do what I told you last week. Go to the restaurant, get all the food, put it in some pots in the house, and warm it up like that, and then put it on a plate. And any man who get with a woman who can't cook, his mama didn't cook. I said it. I talked about your mama. She didn't cook neither. Because it's a shame for a grown man who can't cook and a woman who is over the age of 16 who can't cook nothing but grilled cheese and macaroni and cheese out of box. I'm not understanding how you surviving off that and noodles. And you're cooking the ramen noodles wrong too. I don't even want to get into the fact I don't know why y'all cook y'all ramen noodles like that, but that's not. But yeah, just do whatever you want to do. I don't care because. But I tell you this: if you're gonna feed your neighbor, I promise you, you better take them a family meal from churches or Popeyes. Don't take them that's not your kitchen and you can't cook, okay? Because they will not be your neighbors, not your good neighbors for long. Now you're gonna wonder why they dog always pooping in your yard. They done trained them because you brought them that crap on a plate. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. God need to help his people show enough. Because I don't know about this generation of people. But I yeah, the box macaroni and cheese It's boxed macaroni and cheese, and they swear they cooking. You did nothing. And then you cook the boxed macaroni and cheese. The noodles, you don't cook them so long till the noodles look like rice. Okay, it's time to go. It's been an hour and 20 minutes. It's time to go. It's time to go. I can't do it no more. So let me see how I can fix this so that I can have a I'm gonna see how I can fix it so that I can do my show where you can see and I can cook a very simple meal that anybody could cook that does not come out of a box, and we'll see how that works out. Um, and if it doesn't work out and I come on with something else, then we just know that it's in the works and we're working on it. Let's see, Coco, you coming on, or you have something you wanted to say? Yeah, let me add you to the stream, baby.
I'm laughing
Co-
at you. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing right now. You talk about these people cooking, but you be right though. I don't be knowing what I be seeing sometimes. I don't.
I just
No.
don't I don't understand why your food why if gravy is supposed to be thick enough that your food is supposed to be under the gravy and
Right.
it's coated with the gravy. Why is that it? First of all, why would you put a boiled egg in stewed chicken? Who started
I
that
don't.
trend?
I don't
Stop
know.
it.
Not even that. Who
Why?
started the trend of cutting up hot dogs and putting in people macaroni and cheese?
uh,
I've seen it. I've seen it. You know. Um, I'm not exactly sure who got that concept.
Or they cook.
Um,
They make the macaroni. They make the macaroni, stir it up with the milk and the eggs. They don't put no cheese in it, but they put sliced cheese on top of it and call it macaroni and cheese. I
yes.
cannot.
Yeah.
Oh
I
God.
don't know who's doing that.
Let me
Yeah.
stop rubbing my hair because I just got a little bit. I'm trying not to rub it off, but
Yeah.
we're gonna have a show
That
where
is not homemade mac and cheese.
we're gonna have a show. I'm sorry, Fred. Fred said he over there hollering because it for a cooking wife. I yes, God, you Parker. I like you. Edwin is your name, but I like Parker. So please answer the Parker. But Parker, you better thank God for a wife that can cook, honey. Because there's
That
women
part.
out here who is feeding their husband either fast food or recipes that they done picked up and they cannot cook. I don't understand how you can't cook with YouTube. With you have a world of YouTube. They will show you step. You can stop it. You can pause it. You can rewind it. You can do all that, and you cannot flip a
Yes, it
pancake.
is very real. I saw a girl post a video where she had cut hot dogs up in her macaroni and cheese. Yes, it's very
Why?
real.
Those are two different meals, sis. Oh gosh.
First of all, I would never put hot dogs and macaroni and cheese together.
Not
You might catch me, you might catch me adding bacon to macaroni and cheese. But
listen.
no.
When we did, the
Um
only time I would do macaroni and hot dogs is because if you're feeding a child and they eat macaroni and then you would cut the hot dogs up and put them on the side with a little ketchup because that would be the meat because that's a child's meal. But I swear, if I gave Anton is 5'11", he weighed 275 pounds. I swear, if I put some macaroni in front of him, first of all, out of a box and not fresh, and it had cut up hot dogs in it, you know what he would say? First he would say, "Where the meat at?" Because he's a meat eater. But the second thing he would say is, "Why this macaroni so orange?" Because that's not the natural color of cheese. Girl, I wish I would give a man. Girl, let's try that. Let's try that, ladies. Let's
no,
try that challenge.
I
Make
can't
your
try
man
it.
some.
I can't
Do no, do it. Yeah, do it for you. Listen, do it for the Jamaican. Give him some
no.
macaroni out of box. Cut some of
No.
them cheap red hot dogs up in it and see what he say. He gonna forget that.
No.
He gonna patois you behind right out that house.
You can mess with me.
I'm trying not to cuss on this show because my apostle was like,
You,
I'm
you
trying my
can
best
best
not to cuss
believe
on
that.
this show.
He gonna look at me. He gonna look at
Hey
me and tell me, I'm
Terrence.
not eating that. That's what he gonna tell me. I'm
Mm-mm.
not eating that. Mm-mm. No. No, ma'am.
And
I
yeah,
can't
I
do
can
that.
understand why you would feed your children these quick, like if you're a single parent and you come home. But then I don't understand that either because even as a single parent, it's called a crock pot. And even if you
Right.
fry that chicken the day, if you fry, okay, say you frying pork chops. While you frying the pork chops, you fry chicken. You wrap the chicken up and you put it up. The next day, you put the chicken in the air fryer, but chicken you can refry. So you fry the chicken just enough to get it whatever, but you can refry chicken in a smaller amount of grease. So you refry the chicken or put it in the air fryer while it's crisping up again in the air fryer, whatever you do in your sides. Now they had pork chops yesterday, they're gonna have chicken today. That is how
Yeah.
you do
You
that.
always prep.
Why are you feeding your children? Girl,
You
I
always
can't.
prep.
If you prepping while you doing whatever, instead of looking at TikTok and doing all that, you could do your whole. I don't like doing a week in advance because I'm bougie and I don't really like leftovers. But because my boyfriend likes leftovers, I would have to prep at least 2 to 3 days in advance. Because what happens is while you sleeping, bro in the kitchen standing over the sink eating what you had for dinner the next day.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I always have another thing already prepared just in case he decided that's what he was going to do. He don't do it all the time, but if it was a good meal that night, he eating what was left over, and he eating part of what was for the dinner after that. And so
Right.
I would prep. I would cut up all your vegetables, and see, I like fresh vegetables, so I wouldn't cut up my vegetables till the day before. But if it was a meat, man, you know how quick you can rewarm meat, a rack of ribs, wrap them back up in foil, put them back in the oven. While you're doing that, you're doing your sides for that day, and you're prepping your meat for the day after that. It is not. This is not rocket science. And people
Right.
act like they're so busy, but if you count, if you condense all the time that you spend on your phone just scrolling, with all the time that you could be doing something else,
Right.
your day would be so much different. Your whole time and what you do will be just different.
Right. And
It'll
y'all can
just be
go like
different.
with chicken, like she said, like with chicken and beef is the easiest two things to do, really. I mean, you can do it with pork too, but I don't like to pre-season my pork. But you can do it with all of it, really, especially chicken.
Yeah,
You season it the
yeah.
night before, let it marinate. Oh, it come out real
Listen,
good. It's so
chicken is
crazy.
chicken, and then and the thing about chicken is, because it's such a great versatile meat. What you season it in is going to pick that up. So I'm a firm believer in. Sometimes I just marinate it in hot sauce and salt and pepper and my other seasoning, and just put the hot sauce in there, and I'll cook it like that. And I'll either fry it like that, or I will take the whole thing and put it in the oven. Add a little bit of vinegar in it, and I call it hot chicken. I stole this recipe from my apostle. When I tell you, it is delicious. It's called hot chicken, but you got to add some vinegar to it because it gives it this bite. Whatever. I'll do that, or you can do it and do it like them other people. Put some buttermilk in it. Let it sit in
Yeah.
buttermilk, and it'll tenderize. It is so many things you can do besides scroll on your phone, and you can scroll on your phone while in the midst. But nobody wants to do that anymore. They'd rather I what's making me angry is these boxes of food you can order now with all
Hmm.
the ingredients in. Yo, lazy. You mean to tell me they gonna cut up the onions and all? That ain't to me personally, just me personally, that's not cooking either. Going to the
No,
grocery store, taking your time, picking what you're gonna do. To me,
that's
that's
cooking.
why, and
Yeah.
that's why to me in my head, that's why my food is so good, because I through every little step of what I do for my food, it I show how much I care about whoever I'm about to feed.
Right.
And that's how I see it. I think that you ordering food on in a box and they get to do all the grocery shopping, you don't get to do, and talking about how convenient it is. You passed 16 grocery stores, you lazy heifer. Sorry, that wasn't me. You
But
you
it be
passed.
like that. Just like if you was to ask a female now, I mean, how to cook some of the stuff your grandma and your mama used to make.
Stir
Like
fry is awesome.
my mom used to make chicken and pastry, one of my favorite things to eat when it started getting cold.
Hmm.
Not only that, like a homemade pot of chili. Come on now,
Oh my
like yeah,
God. Shut up.
when is the last a homemade pot of chili? Make it, put it over some twice baked potato with some chicken. Come on now,
Yes. Thank you,
come
Jesus.
on.
Hallelujah.
But
You made me make the ugly
stop
face.
eating no more.
Hallelujah. Thank you,
Look,
Jesus. Yes.
not only that,
Girl, my
a
mama used to
real
make
good part, a stew beef and rice. Come on now.
girl, no, no, no. Listen, listen, listen. My mama made uh what you call it? Oh, see, y'all made me miss my word. The thing is, it's a chicken pot. Ooh, a homemade chicken. I learned how to make
Chicken
it too,
pot
but
pie?
it's chicken pot pie. She put the pie crust on hers. I went to Sam's. I go to Sam's, cut the bottom off the pie crust, put it on the
Oh,
bottom,
and do
butter it,
everything.
toast that part, then pull my stuff on it, then put the top of the croissant on top of, butter it, put it back in the oven. When I tell, see, because my mama recipes, I would flip it a little bit to make them mine, so that all our meals would taste alike. And
Hmm.
hunting, when homemade chicken pot pie, ooh,
Yes.
it made me. I wanted to change my last name. Child, I wanted to change my last name.
Honey,
Jesus.
I had one the other day. So yeah, I mean, it's stuff like that that people forget about. Not only that, like not no store bought lasagna. Take the time to layer the noodles and make the
Yes,
lasagna.
it don't
Yeah,
take that
like
long. You basically making spaghetti sauce.
yes,
And what I do is because I'm ready to eat it right now. I don't like that layer of cheese. You know the ricotta, the
yeah,
layer of I don't like that because
yeah.
to me it's dry. So I add my ricotta cheese to my sauce, and
Okay,
then I do my layers. And some people do the 45 to an hour one where you
yeah,
put the sheets in raw. That one
yeah,
tastes a little bit better, but it takes too long. So what I do is I cook my noodles till they're not done or anything, but I cook them down till they're a little bit soft and they're still hard in the middle, and then I
yeah.
layer, and that takes about 30 minutes. It takes less time because once my food starts smelling up the house, I'm ready to eat. I ain't got time to be
Right,
waiting on no. I'm ready to eat. Ain't no two
right.
hour. I'm ready to eat
Yes, yes, from scratch, Crystal. I don't like using stuff out of the box. I cook from
from
scratch. I
scratch.
make my sauces. I
Yes.
make my
So
sauces
I
from
don't.
scratch. So
So I we got on this subject because it's my favorite subject. I love cooking. I love feeding people. I love that. But with this subject, please don't get it twisted. This subject in no way is separate from what we were talking about from the beginning. Did you see how I drew uh Coco into this conversation by talking about something that we had in common? This is how you draw your neighbors into a conversation about what they have in common. This is how you draw your conversation and about, I don't care if you talk about their grass, the color of their mailbox, the fact that their child has 16 color different hair. You, this is how you engage with people. We have forgotten how to do that. We have forgotten how to start a very simple conversation. You can do that from 12 feet away. Sis, bruh, you don't have to. You can do that without using an electronic device. You can walk up to people and just say, "Hey, how you doing?" And then you know what they're gonna do? They're not gonna say nothing for a second because they're gonna be just like we said last week. They're gonna be so used to somebody saying, "Hey, how you doing?" and just keep on talking. They're not gonna realize you paused in
hmm
order to hear what they had to say. Let's change how we interact with people. Some people are shy. I'm not one of those people, unfortunately. But some people, there's other ways of starting a conversation. Listen, how you? Oh, I see you have been over here by these watermelons for a minute. How you pick a good watermelon? Do you knock on it? Do you smell? That is a conversation starter.
hmm
And like I said, you don't know what state of mind and if they walk away, oh well, it's some next. But you don't know what state of mind people are in when they're doing things. The watermelon might be the only thing they could afford. They didn't have no more money. And you came in and made them feel good about that. That's all I could get. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Because you don't have to walk in this first. You're not an island among yourself. If God wanted us to be by ourselves, he would have never slapped Adam to sleep. And when Adam woke up, he looked over there and said, "Dang!" He probably did, but I didn't. Whatever. I changed the story. But he gave Adam somebody. When the animals got on the, because I know some people like scripture because they like to understand. When I'm talking, I know I might say things that are funny or off, but I'm always coming from that word. I promise you. When them animals got on, he told them two by two because everybody and everything needs somebody. The black widow spider, she needs somebody. Okay, she eats him when it's over, but she needed him for that few minutes before she ate him. Everybody need. I'm sorry, that was off the point. Yeah, whatever. So everybody needs somebody. Everybody needs the ears for somebody to listen to. Everybody needs a shoulder to cry on. Everybody needs somebody. You are not an island amongst yourself. And I don't care how all right I look sometimes. Getting on today was very hard for me because I don't like losing my cool. I don't like people bringing me out my character. I don't like being escorted to my car by public safety because it makes me look like a criminal. I don't like that stuff. But I knew that I had an obligation. I realized that the enemy was going to act up. I just didn't realize he was going to do it in the way he did it this morning. And I let him win a little bit because I let him bring me out of who I was. But he didn't stay a winner. Just because you win something don't mean you're going to stay a winner. Because he showed and went on this show tonight. I done been on this show an hour, 35 minutes, and 47 seconds longer than he thought I was going to be on here. Now tell somebody that one. Now go tell that.
But
Because I did it.
I need you not to tell the people hospital nobody.
Girl, I told that room, listen, I tore that room up. Then got dressed in the hallway with no shirt on. Girl, them people saw stuff that would used to be boo. Girl, I didn't even care. I was half naked. I was so pissed off. I don't like to be I don't like people to talk down to me, especially people who I mean you might be smarter than me with whatever the book, but he looked like he was in his 20s. He talked to me like I was a child. And and I'm gonna say this again, if you have a problem with me talking about racial things, then I'm sorry. But some white people, especially here in the South, have a habit of talking to black people like we're children. They talk to us like I gotta break it down to her because she's not going. And that's what you're not gonna do to me. Because even if I don't understand the word, speak the rest of the sentence, and I bet you I'll click in. I'll figure it out. And I've done this a couple of times. I pick up my phone, and while they talking, they thinking I'm looking through my phone. I'm googling the words you just said, bro, because I want to know what you're saying to me. And so that's what happened today. But the devil didn't win today because I'm on this. I came on. I couldn't get my halo light on until 3 seconds before the show. All my notes I couldn't get. I had to do it through my phone, but it was done, and it was done in the name of the Almighty, the Father, and I got my message across, and people listening, and people are responding, and I'm doing exactly what I set out to do. And y'all may think it's silly, and that's fine, but when things go the way that I plan them, or they go in a way that is as positive as it can go, I'm still shocked because to me, like I told you last, I'm still the fat girl tripping over stuff and shy and running away from stuff. I'm still me on the inside. And so when it go right, I just want to sit on the side of the bed and swing my legs and eat a Snickers because I'm happy as I can be. Girl, you just don't know. And so I've enjoyed this show. And don't forget my challenge. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say it again. The challenge is this: 5 pieces of paper. Go in any direction you want to. Go as far out as you want to. You can do it at work if you're in cubicles. You're going to write on there, I really, really want to know how you're doing. I really, really want to know, do you need anything from me? Return this to me and let's start a dialogue. Let's be friends. And then God just gave me this. At the bottom, do you want to be my friend? Yes or no? And put them little check box. I used to love when people just send me them notes. So that's what you do. Make sure at the bottom you put the 2 little check marks. Say, do you want to be my friend? Yes or no? Watch you change somebody day because they're gonna start thinking back. And if I wish I knew how to do them little things that I couldn't. I can't. You couldn't make them, but them little things you used to do, and they had the little thing. Make one of those and give them. And if you know how to make it, and give it to the people in your office. And put a little and whoever gets whatever and whatever in a certain row or whatever, they get a little prize. I don't care if it's a donut from Dunkin' Donuts. Interact with people around you because there are people around you who are suicidal, who are having mental breakdowns, who are going through grief, who are sick in their bodies and don't want to tell nobody. There are people who are just lost, and they're wandering around in red bottom shoes, $500 suits, driving Lamborghinis, and smiling their ass off. And they have no idea if they're going to be able to eat or wake up in the morning or not go totally insane. And I promise you, it's the ones that got it all together. That's the most messed up.
Oh yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
let's go make some friends. That's right, Crystal. That's how they look at us. Like we don't know nothing. Like we're like, and they talk to us like we're children because it's like I always call it. It's plantation think. It's something that's carried on through generations. Because somebody mama told them, they're a little slow. They not they ghetto because they done took ghetto to mean slow or mentally impaired. With it, that don't have nothing to do with it. But I mean, I guess that's just what it. Man, don't, I love a Snickers. Yes. Then they messed up and came out with a king size. Stop it! I quit. Um, did I dribble just now? I might have. Sorry. So um, so we're gonna get ready to head out of here. I wanted it to go a little longer, but I'm sorry, I forgot my tea. I don't have any water. I don't have anything, and it's starting to be hard for me to talk. But with almonds, yes. Did you have the new one with almonds? See, y'all, this Crystal, y'all talking about stuff that's in my. When you start talking about food, I don't care what kind of food. I can
Oh my
talk about it
god.
for hours. So next week's show, I'm really gonna really try to focus on food and recipes and things like that because that's one of my the Snickers ice cream bar. I don't know who the man that invented that. Him and the man that invented spandex. I know they going to heaven. Oh, I know they got a seat in heaven.
I'm not with you.
Ooh,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
The man who invented spandex and the man who invented the ice cream Snickers. I swear they mansion in heaven bigger than everybody else's. I promise you, because that was heaven sent. You, whoever invented that, they disobeyed God because God sent that down. It was just they disobeyed God. Mm, mm, mm. Now you're gonna maybe get in my car in this cold and go get it.
Yeah.
Who is that say respect the dribble?
See?
I can't
Let's
stand you,
see.
Terrence. So we're gonna get off of here. When I tell you that I love you, and not just with the love of God, but with everything in my spirit. I love each and every one of you guys. Invite some of those people that you're going to meet next week to come on next Tuesday. Tell them we're going to be talking about food. I'm gonna try to cook a meal, but we'll see. Um, oh, Coco looking at me, so I have to do it again. So don't forget the merch. Next week I'll tell you what my website is. It's up, but I need to go mess around with it a little bit more. So this is part of my merch. Can you see it? Uppity
Yeah.
Negro.
Uppity
That's my
Negro, you
merch.
guys.
You can get it. You can get it custom to anything, any colors you want. This is just my white one. My gray and purple sweatshirt is the one that I wore today. It's the biggest seller. I think Coco has one. Coco and Quint bought the my bought them like the first time I brought them out. So that those are
I
my.
also
But you
have
can
the
make
face
any
mask
color.
for you guys.
Yeah, I have face mask. Um, and we're working on entire running like the jogging suits of it. So that's that. I have uppity Negro lashes. They're very nice
Oh,
lashes,
you
very
guys. Yeah.
durable. The color doesn't really matter. She just has them in here, but you can if you once you get on the website, you'll be able to pick the length that you want. And like I said, they have names of all the strong black women that I'm trying to think of. I have the apostles, which are the ones for like when you want to go to work, and then I have them all the way up to the Maxine Waters. Johnny, you gonna reclaim your time? Real talk. I got some Harriet Tubmans. If you want to free a couple of slaves, you can do that. You can do that. You can do whatever you want to with them. So I got all kind of different names or whatever on them. The one names that inspire me, I got some called the Emancipation. You do not buy the Emancipations unless you about to emancipate yourself from some of the people in your life
Okay, Bob,
who are just
you
sucking
got
you
somebody
dry.
who asked how much they are.
Oh, oh, the not that expensive. The lashes are $12 and the pen is 10. So for both of them, $22. That's it.
Okay, and how much
and
are
I
the
will
shirts?
and I will send them to you. Oh, the shirts. Now the shirts are 25. But if you go up into like once you get past the 1X, then you add $3 on to whatever extra size. So if you get a 3X, then it's $3. If you get a 4X, then it's $6 because you have to go up every size. The sweatshirts are 35, and they go up $4 every time you go above a 1X. Um, these are really good shirts. They're Gideon. Is that how you say it? Gideon?
Mm-hmm.
The brand, the name brand that's here
Yeah.
in Charleston is they're Gildan or Gelden, whatever, but they're really good quality, and they wash really good. The vinyl doesn't come off. It just really good material. I don't give anybody anything that I wouldn't wear. The face mask, every time I get them, they sell out. Every single time I get them, they sell out. I've sold a couple of them to white people. I told them, you better leave that. Don't, you better not wear that out, but they don't listen to me. So the face mask always sell out. Like I said, I'm working on two
How
piece
much are
suits,
the first
but
one?
the face mask are seven. The face mask are seven. I'm still trying to find somebody. The only price that will go up are the face masks. The face mask might go to 10, depending on who I find as a because the person I had originally got a better job, I guess. But I won't the prices on my t-shirts and stuff. If I won't pay it, I'm not gonna ask nobody else to pay it, and I'm not paying $40 and $50 for a t-shirt. I'm not doing it. I know my worth, and if my worth, um, I'm not paying for. If I'm not gonna do it, I won't ask nobody else to do it because I think it's ridiculous to pay that kind of money for t-shirts.
And once you get the jumpsuits done, what you gonna do the price of those?
I don't know yet because I don't know if they're gonna um, how they're gonna price them to me. If they're gonna price it as a suit or they're gonna price it to me separately. So I'm gonna let y'all know by next week. Hopefully I'll be done found somebody. Oh, that was the most ghetto thing I think I said tonight. I'll be done found. Yeah. So I have a couple of friends of mine looking for t-shirt makers because I don't want to do it on demand because I don't want to order 16 boxes of one color. You feel I don't want to do that. I want to be able to do. Or you call me, tell me what you want, and I tell you, what I want. I might get two of what you ordered, just so it'll be like in a bunch. But I'm not ordering no 15 shirts like this. Why would I do that? Because you can change this uppity into a you can camouflage it. You can if I get up, will that be like bad showmanship or something? If I show them one of my other ones? Just give me a second because I can show you how you can customize it. Oh, if I can reach it. So here's one. I had on one last week, but I didn't show you guys what I had on last week because I was so nervous that I didn't think to show it to you. Okay, so this one, the orange one I'm gonna show you is my favorite one because you can really, 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 really see it. So this right here, well, as you saw me sitting down, that's the white one that I have. This is the one I had on last week.
Yeah, that's the camel one.
This is the camel one. This is one of my favorites. And then this one right here. Everybody wanted it, but by the time I got ready to order it for them, I didn't have a t-shirt maker. This is a hoodie, and the
Yeah, that's
camera
the one.
doesn't. You can't really see how orange it is, but this is like orange. But this is my favorite shirt. I love this one, and
It
I've
came
had it
out
for
real
a
good.
few.
Orange one.
Yes, it did. That orange is and that green on there. So you can customize it, and it doesn't have to say Negro. Like my pastor want hers going to say uppity apostle. And you can get whatever colors or whatever you want to get it customized. All you got to do is tell me, and that's what I'm working on my website, how I can get you to order it, and then tell me how you want it. But I have so many styles and designs, you probably won't even want to
Yes, they
change
can
anything
also be
on it.
done in. I'm answering the people in your thing. They could also be
You
done in
see,
purple because the one I have from her is purple and gray.
that purple and gray is pretty. I had it on today, but I don't even know where I put it at. Somebody said orange like that box. Yep, orange just like that box of macaroni and cheese. It looks just like macaroni and cheese out the box. Ain't nobody but Terrence. I know it ain't nobody but Terrence because he ain't got no manners.
That was Fred actually.
Fred, don't let Terrence jump into your spirit here. I do have. I think she already answered that question, but I do. I can
Yeah.
have the T-shirts. And can you do me a favor, y'all? Even though I'm not quite finished with the website, I trust and love each and every one of y'all on here. So do me a favor. Go to uppitynegro.store.
Type it in, Fred.
Store. Can you type that in for me, Fred? I love you. It's uppitynegro.store, and you can look at just about not all of them, but just about all of the styles. You can see the mask, and you can see the the lashes and the pins that are on there. But don't order anything yet because I haven't figured out how, if somebody wants to custom it, how I'm going to do that unless they email me. And that's a lot. That's just a lot to do when you shouldn't have to do that. Everything should be on the website. But because I'm doing this by myself and I want to learn how to do it on my own, I'm still learning. But go on there and look at what's on there. You'll love that purple. When you see that purple and that gray, man, it's going. That's what everybody orders first, and then they come back and get the rest of them. But
And one of the
so that's
easiest
my
ways to make it, one of the easiest ways to make it easier on you when they click on the shirt, if you have a drop down that says customize, they put what they want, and it'll come straight to you so you can see it.
well, me and you. Let's me and you set up a little time where we can share screens and you can show me how to do that on there.
Okay.
Okay, but I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all were determined to make me make this a 2 hour show, and I love y'all for that too. But that's my merch. I'm gonna try to talk about. There's a commercial that we have that will start playing um, to take breaks in between. But by the time I'm ready to take a break, we be so deep into the conversation. I don't want to break and mess up the momentum of what's the conversation that we have going on.
I'll play it at
So
the end.
one more time, five people, five people. Ask them if they want to be your friend, yes or no. Checkbox, and ask them how you doing for real. Do you have everything you need? What can I do to help you? And if you can't help them, go on the internet instead of scrolling and find a foundation or organization that can help them. Find something that can, even if it's a video on how you can do this, is that help them. And let's start a dialogue. Let's start our own village. Let's meet the people in our village. Let's meet the people around us because somebody needs you just to say, just to tell them hi, man. I promise you. So that's my challenge for next week. And we'll do something fun next week. The show that God wants me to do. I really don't want to do it, but and I probably could hold off for just a couple of more shows. But we're going to talk about childhood abuse, and how it affects you um, in your adulthood. And because I'm so candid and truthful, that is going to be a show that is going to if you're triggered, I'm going to tell you about it now, and I'm going to tell you about it next week until I know when I'm getting ready to do it. If that's a show that is going to trigger you, um, if something has happened to you when you were young, then it may not be the show for you because I'm not going to hold anything back, nothing. Just like I'm going to put it in my book, I'm not going to hold anything back. So if you're triggered by things like that, then maybe that may be the show that you need to miss. Um, I know you people are expecting me to say, well, that's the show you need to see. No, nope. Because when I see things and I'm triggered by them, I tell myself, I wish somebody had told me. Let me give you one example, then I'm leaving. My mama and my apostle told me, do not watch Precious. And for 2 years, I didn't watch it. And one day, I had, I'm a minister, man. I can just everybody talking about this show. I want to be in discussion too. I watched Precious, and I literally um, lost 4 days of my life because I regressed so far back into my own brain. I cannot tell you what I did for those 4 days, and I because that movie triggered me so bad that I lost myself. And so if talking about things like that is going to trigger something in you, then don't come to the don't look at it. But if you think it's going to be helpful, which I think is going to be, then join us. And I really, really want you to join in the conversation in the comments for that show, because I'm going to need all of y'all to keep me from rolling into myself, or to keep me from joking, because I make jokes when things make me uncomfortable. And so I'm holding off on that show. And I know God understands, but it's going to come to a point where I'm not going to be able to hold off, but right now I can hold off, because next week we're talking about food. Some kind of way we're talking about food. But I love y'all. We about to get out of here. So don't forget to tune into to Fred's show, the Arthur's Corner. I think I'm saying it right. Don't forget to tune into Coco and Quint's show on Thursdays, I believe, at 8:00.
Yep.
Am I right? Okay.
Yep.
Don't forget to tune in to their shows, and of course Terrence is going to be there, and I'm going to be there as much as I can, and just y'all, let's support each other. And I hope to meet everybody in these comments. I hope to meet each and every one of y'all in person. But let's do my challenge. 5 pieces of paper. I promise you, the way it's going to make you feel great at the end of the day that you made somebody smile is going to do something for your life. It'll do something for your ministry. It'll do something for you. So I'm going to head out of here. I don't know how to. Sometimes I just don't know how to end the show, but we'll work on that. We probably end with Mr. Engineer putting up the. Oh, I got a commercial coming up. Okay, so we're gonna end it with a commercial. And thank you for allowing God to use you. Oh man, thank you. I thank y'all for listening to me, and listening to what God has to say through me, even though sometimes it comes out a little crooked. But y'all got the point. All right. Thanks for joining us, Coco. Appreciate all of y'all, Fred and Terrence. And I missed Quinn tonight. If she doesn't call me in a little bit, y'all let her know that I missed her. She was greatly missed. Thank y'all so much for coming. Join me next week, Tuesday at 8:00 for the takeover. And let's take over somebody's kitchen. How about that?
That part.
All right. I can't wait to hear about you guys and your people and all the new friends that you guys made. So love you guys, and I'm out of here.
Roll the commercial, Fred.
My Life Has Destiny is a faith-based podcast that talks about testimonies of faith, hope, redemption, restoration, and the perseverance of ordinary people through the extraordinary power of God. Join host Quint Jones, Coco Fenton, and introducing Terrence Jackson every Monday and Thursday nights, right here on Trailblazers Radio. Join Bobbie for the takeover every Tuesday night as she tackles tough subjects with her trademark humor and wit. We guarantee you'll be educated, edified, and also entertained. So join us at 8 p.m. every Tuesday night, right here on Trailblazers Radio.